Okay, most of the material for my presentation has been taken out of this book, Junior Legion of Mary, which was produced largely by Kevin Cross, the former Senatus president. And we'll start off with a quote from the handbook, which says, "An army always provides for its future by the establishment of military training schools. Similarly, it should be regarded as a necessary part of the system of each senior Praesidium to conduct a junior Praesidium. 2 of the senior legionaries should be assigned to the junior Praesidium as officers. As the training of juniors requires certain qualities, not every senior legionary is fitted for the office. Therefore, they should be carefully selected. Their work in that capacity may be held to satisfy their work obligation for their senior Praesidium. They shall represent the junior Praesidium on the Curia or on a junior Curia if such exists. The other 2 officerships should be filled by junior members who will thereby obtain admirable training in responsibility. They shall represent the Praesidium on a junior Curia. Juniors may not sit on a senior Curia." Just commenting on that, I think very early on in my Legion membership in Deer Park, we read the handbook, of course, and I came across that and it struck a chord with me, and I thought, hey, we should start a junior Praesidium. So with very little experience and going in blind to some extent, although I did attend a junior Praesidium that was already up and running locally, so I had an idea of what went on, and I thought, oh yeah, I think I could do this. Then I had my own 2 children at that stage, because one had already started high school, so he didn't come, and I put out a letter through the school and got some children that way, so that was the way to start. But honestly, I had no experience with children other than my own. I'm not a teacher or anything like that. Not particularly patient with children either, but I thought I'd give it a go. So if I can do it, honestly, anybody can. So starting a junior Praesidium, organise a visit to the parish priest and or the school principal. It depends who you've got better relations with. In my parish, I approached the school principal at that time because she was very good. We've been very, very lucky with principals in our primary school. And either make an appointment with the parish priest or the school principal. If possible, 2 legionaries should attend this meeting. Well, ideally we work in pairs, but often that's not possible. Pray before the meeting and ask the Holy Spirit and Mary to give you the words to touch all involved. Show enthusiasm, that's important. Ask for Jesus and Mary to help with answers. Bring some pamphlets on the Legion. There's some junior pamphlets available in the bookshop. Talk about the Legion's success in other parishes locally as well as worldwide activities of the Legion. Explain how the meeting operates, prayer, spiritual reading, work allocation, and the Legion will support the juniors with at least 1 adult legionary who has a working with children's check. You know how important that is these days. I'm not sure about Kiribati, whether you need a card to work with children, police checks, anything like that. Anyway, well, we do in Melbourne. They're very strict. We need one whether you're working with children or not, if you're working as a volunteer. Now, in my own Praesidium, and I've been doing on and off, I've been doing it for 20 years. I had a break there of maybe 4 or 5 years. I've only ever done it on my own, so I haven't been able to get anyone else to help me, so I do it on my own as the best I can. But the other children, the older children, they take on the other officerships. Of course, as we do for a senior Praesidium, invite the parish priest to be the spiritual director. It's hoped that he'll at least come to part or some of the meetings and show his support. or a religious sister or brother is also very suitable as a spiritual director. I think out in Mentone, they've got a religious sister as a spiritual director, and that if you can get one, that's marvellous. Otherwise, you're the spiritual director too for those children. Set a date and time for the talk with the children. The date for the first meeting should be also set as soon as possible after the talk, preferably within the following week. Well, personally, I didn't do that. I didn't go into the school and give a talk. I just sent out a letter and told them what time the meeting was, and they just turned up, and we just ran it like a meeting from the start. The priest or principal may know some parishioners or families that may be interested, and you could visit some parents before the talk. Invite any homeschool families in the area. Now, for me, that's been a great source of recruits, homeschool families. We've got quite a few of them in the area in Deer Park, and they've got quite a big network. So you get one homeschool family in, and before long they'll invite someone else, and you've got an endless supply. So that's a good source for recruits. They love it. They love the Legion of Mary. If you're going to the school, a short talk can be arranged to explain the Legion to the students and or parents at the school. The content can be emotive, factual, historical, or any combination. Overheads or a handout of printed material may be used. That's up to you. Once there is agreement that a junior Praesidium is to be started, a letter can be sent home, and in that book, there's a sample letter that you can send home through the school, and you can download a full-sized one from the internet, from our website, with a meeting day and time of the first meeting. The following can be used as a talk. This is from one of the brochures that we've got in the bookshop, put together by Father O'Brien, Joachim O'Brien, and it says, "Can my yes make a difference? Mary's yes at the age of about 15 changed the world. Consider the changes in your life if you say yes to her by working for her. She would not be asking you to take on anything that would be too difficult for you, only something that is good for you and someone else." How the Legion can help you. The apostles prayed together and went out in pairs to bring the good news to people. In the Legion, this is also our way. Each week we reserve a time to pray, to go out and do some active work. This work is a great stepping stone for adult responsibilities by giving you the necessary experience in helping others within a caring system. And by the way, some of my original junior legionaries are now, one's a mother of 3, and others are looking for jobs, and they come to me asking for a reference because of their involvement in the junior. Maybe they've been secretaries taking minutes or treasurers, and I'm happy to give them a reference saying they've got that kind of experience, so even from a practical point of view. What has the Junior Legion of Mary to offer young people? Growth in their spiritual life, holiness through faith, love, charity, patience and humility, to love God and love others, training to love and serve God through the example of our Blessed Mother, change in behaviour, not guaranteed but possibly, obedience and respect, discipline through weekly meetings, prayer with action, working as young apostles, responsibility through the weekly work obligation, increase in love for the Mass and the Eucharist, learn to see Christ in those they meet, learn to be aware of others in need, gain extra knowledge of our Catholic faith, develop fellowship with other brothers and sisters in Christ, and they certainly do that. We organise outings too during school holidays. We take them on picnics. We take them to the zoo, rollerblading, bowling, all those things. So we try and make it a bit entertaining as well. Now, what work can be done by juniors? This is always challenging. But here are some examples. They can, if they're altar servers, they can do that as part of their work. Give out miraculous medals. You can give them a medal each and ask them to give it to someone that they meet during the week, maybe a student at the school who's in trouble or a sick relative or something, and they can report on that. Helping at home is a regular one. Visit the elderly at a nursing home. We try and do that several times during the year. There's a local Catholic nursing home we take them to, so they get in, and the old people love having the children there, and the children love visiting the old people. They really bond. Corresponding with other junior Legion groups, and they can do that, I think, through the internet these days. I'm not too sure. Encourage family members to pray the rosary. And look, what a great idea. I'm going to introduce that with my junior legionaries, that rosary kit. I really love that. They can take that home or take it into their classroom even and speak to their teacher and see if they can pass that around. That's a great apostolic work for juniors to do in conjunction with their teacher. Help out at parish functions. Hand out bulletins before Mass. Plus many more activities as requested by the parish priest. The first meeting with the juniors. A lot of the things that apply to a senior meeting apply to the juniors, of course, but it's adapted. Arrive early. Now, here's where you really need to arrive early, because the juniors ain't going to do it for you. They do arrive early, actually, because my meeting is straight after school, so as soon as they finish school, the bell rings and they're out in front of the classroom where we meet. And you have to set up the Legion altar. The first time you have to do it yourself, the first few times, and when they get the hang of it, they're able to come in and help you, and they know where everything goes, and they enjoy doing that. A 30-centimetre statue rather than the big one, just because it's convenient. A vexillum, 2 vases, unbreakable is best, and 2 wide, short church candles. I didn't bring them with me today. Rather than the ones on the stand, because look, children and candle wax don't mix, and they love putting their fingers through it and all that sort of stuff, so you've got to be practical. And definitely clear plastic covering for the altar cloth. Then you have ready plastic rosaries. I keep all these in 3 separate boxes. Plastic rosary beads, large print tesseras, praying the rosary for children books. That's these. These, I really recommend these. We've been using these for a long time. We've got them in the bookshop. They're about $3 each. And we use them as we're praying the rosary, we mix up the mysteries. We rotate, the mysteries, don't mix up. So these are a good resource to keep them focused. Do not give to children to take home. They say, please, can I take it home, Sister Lucy? No. Everything stays there. Don't trust them. They mean well, but they'll forget to bring it the next week. And then books for each officer, the President's worksheet, the minutes, the Treasurer's and roll call. And I've adapted the minutes for juniors, so all they have to, when it comes to work reports, we've got rows and columns. I should have put a thing there, but an example. But I think that's on the website as well. And so they've got the different kinds of works that they do, including I get them to pray the Catena and Rosary, say the Catena and Rosary. So they just have, the person who's taking the minutes just has to tick the boxes. So they do it at the meeting. They don't have to take it home and do the minutes. They can do it there. And they do it, and they do a great job. Same with the treasurers. You might need to give them a little bit of help with counting the money, because we have a secret bag collection, of course. And the roll call, they love it. Love doing that job. And in fact, you'll find, unlike a senior Praesidium where no one wants to do any jobs, the children are fighting over them. And I have to, in fact, rotate jobs halfway during the year. And at the start of term, we met for the first time last week. Are you going to change the jobs around? Can we change jobs? Because they all want to do something. There's only so many jobs. So they like doing that. They like being involved. Children should be appointed as secretary, treasurer and vice president. The president should always be an adult legionary. Spiritual reading, I think this is very important, and in fact, I've never used the handbook for spiritual reading. No, not for children. It can be taken from a suitable children's book on the lives of the saints. These are a series of books that my children read by Mary, Fabian, Windiat, and they're great. St Martin de Porres. There's about 20, I think, in the series of all different lives of the saints for children. So you just read a page or so of that, or this one's really good, St Catherine of Siena, one of their favourites. Or these ones, and I've got another book that's got a saint for every day of the year, and that's really good too. So that'd be perfect for a spiritual reading. For the children love the saints, the lives of the saints. You can just see that you've got their interest. It's great when you manage to get them and and then they ask questions and they contribute. That's very rewarding, I have to say. Keep it short so as not to lose their interest. You'll know when you start to lose their interest when they're, doing all that. Get the children involved in choosing a name for the Praesidium. And I got this idea from Silvana Bodsai, God rest her soul. So she was very good with the children. It gets different names for Our Lady, different titles, and put them on a bit of paper and fold them up, put them in a basket. And say, now children, we're going to pray and ask Our Lady to choose a name for this Praesidium. So we say Hail Mary, and then, we ceremoniously pick a name, and that's the name that Our Lady has chosen for our Praesidium. So that makes it special. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Then we run through the meeting is very similar to an adults' meeting because we have the opening prayers, and I've started with the whole rosary, depending on the children that you've got. If you've got children from homeschool families, they're used to praying the rosary. It's not foreign to them. If they've never prayed, obviously start with one decade. And I've got little children aged 5 until 13, and they all can manage a full rosary. So don't let anyone tell you, no, the rosary's too long, the children can't manage. Think of Our Lady of Fatima appearing to 3 little children, 11, 9 and 8, and asking them to pray the rosary every day. So they can do it. Explain what the Legion of Mary is about as you go along. Prayer, devotion to Mary, being of service to others. Have some work organised for them as soon as possible. Explain the various parts of the meeting as you go. Meetings should not go longer than 1 hour. And you can pack quite a lot into 1 hour. Sometimes if they're misbehaving, you'll run out of time and you just have to leave something out. But usually you'll find an hour's sufficient, and you might even have a few minutes left over. Read and explain the standing instruction, what the punctual attendance at the meeting, daily recitation of the Catena, perform some regular work of service, and respect the confidential nature of many matters discussed. And they love taking turns in reading the standing instruction when the first of the month comes up too. That's something you can get them involved in. Okay, so that's just repeating what happens at the meeting, the opening prayers, the rosary, spiritual reading, minutes, roll call, secret bag. The money from the secret bag is used to pay for candles, flowers, medals, etc., and to subsidise outings and activities. But we usually have a surplus that we can hand on to the courier. So at the moment we've got about $200 and we're going to give $50 to the courier. Children are only required to perform 1 hour's work each week. Now, in this book too, there's I won't go through all of them, but there's some very good little activities that you can do with children. Here's one of them. Jesus taught his disciples to say the Our Father. Read your Bible, Matthew 6:7-13. Write a line or two about the meaning of this prayer and bring your findings to the meeting. Talk about it. I also, at the start of the year, get them an exercise book that I do let them take home, and that's their Legion book. So any worksheets or things that I give them to do, but not regular homework, because I'll just see it as another school thing that they have to do, But from time to time, you can give them something to research, something like that. This one's good. The Hail Mary is a beautiful prayer of the church. Where did it come from? Read the Bible. Luke, you can do that during the meeting. Legionaries are required to say the Katina every day. Where does this prayer come from? Read the Bible. Luke, I forgot to look up the passage. Pray each day for your family, friends, etc. Did Jesus ever pray? Look up those two Bible, and so get them used to looking up the Bible, and the real Bible, not the children's Bible, the full version. What happened after he prayed? And you can talk about these things. How can we give glory to God? Read Psalm 139, God knows everything, let the children marvel at God's wisdom. This is a good one, write down the names of Jesus' apostles. I think we'd be challenged to do that if we had to name them off the top of our head. Do we have any of them as patrons of the Legion? Look in the Legion handbook. So, and lots of other ideas. There's about, 20 or more. I won't go through them all. Okay, your spiritual director will help you find this statement in the Bible. Son, behold your mother. Mother, behold your son. Ask mum or dad to explain this to you. Oh, that'd be challenging for some mums or dads, but an adult anyway. What is the meaning of the name of your Praesidium? Suppose Jesus came to visit you at home. How would you welcome him? Think respectfully and tell your story to the group. So lots of good ideas there. Finally, keep everything simple with lots of fun, respect and understanding of their stage in life. Oh, this is another great little book. It's only $1 something from the bookshop, The Story of Edel Quinn for Children, and you can read that bit by bit again as the spiritual reading. So make them familiar with our Legion candidates for sainthood, Edel Quinn and Frank Duff and Alfie Lamb, but we don't have one suitable for children on Frank Duff at the moment, but this one on Edel Quinn is excellent. It's got nice little illustrations in there as well. And you can even give them one each as a Christmas present, wrap it up with a bit of red ribbon and... Yeah, any questions? Yes, Sister Kath. Yes, yes, I've got handbooks. I forgot to mention that I've got handbooks. I keep everything in a big plastic container in the meeting room, and it's got all the altar setting, the rosaries, the tesseras, and about 10 handbooks. So they like to get a handbook each, especially the older ones, and you can say, look up page so-and-so and that. And we do have a handbook study. That wasn't mentioned. Although I don't use the handbook for the spiritual reading, we do have a handbook study, and it's just 1 or 2 lines, and we just, unpack it. There's quite a bit in the handbook. Well, a lot of it's difficult, but there's a lot of bits that you can take out and that children can understand. So, yeah, they do. Handbooks. Any other questions? No. No, I don't meet during the school holidays, but other Praesidia do, and I can see Sister Vienna here. Do you want to say anything about your juniors?
Shall I say? We continue to meet over the school holidays. We do. In the beginning of the year, when this is in our parish, other choirs, they go on holiday. So they have break from masses, say the 9 o'clock mass. And the beginning of this year, we were given that chance to sing as a choir in the mass for the 9 o'clock mass. And it was a way for us to, for our junior Praesidium in this in our parish, telling everyone, okay, this is the junior. We do have a junior Legion of Mary in our Praesidium, in our parish, and it was something interesting for the kids to sing in this choir. What else can I say? We've started last year. We have about 13 kids in our in my Praesidium, and half of them are my children, all under the age of 13, and the youngest being 3 years old. And it's very, because she hears other little kids doing their reports, and when you go, okay, Gardenia, what's your report? And she would just say anything that pops into her mind, like, oh, went to the movie, watched TV.
Well, she's 3.
She's 3,
yes.
And
yeah.
It's encouraging, to have these little babies, like these ones running around.
Yes. So see, sometimes all you need is a family with 5 children or 4 or 5 children. There's your Praesidium, instant Praesidium. And don't be discouraged too. This is what I wanted to say. Don't be discouraged. At the moment, I've got 20 kids, and another family, a little girl came to me last week, and she wants to join and bring her 3 brothers and sisters. Oh, that's great. So, but I have had as little as 2 for, a long time. We just had 3 members, actually, and one of them was my son and another little brother and sister, and they'd come faithfully every week. So we still had our meeting, It's better if you've got more, obviously. But, it goes up and down. But I'd say for the past, how many years, I've had a big group. Like you saw that group at the start. No, I've got to go back. That's a group from a few years ago, but as you can see, there's quite a lot of children there, and big age group as well. Yeah, that's one Praesidium. Yeah. Yeah, but again, lots of siblings there, so there's families with 3, 4 children. Yeah, yes?
What work in your Praesidium, like with the kids, what do you normally give them to do? Like what?
Yeah, they're asked to do something at home to help mum and dad, to say their katina, pray the rosary, and do a chore around the house, help with the dishes, set the table.
A different one every week, like a particular one different every week?
No, I just give them a general job to do, yeah. 2 little girls, actually, they've got an elderly neighbour and they walk her dog for her, so that's something that they're able to do. The biggest challenge? The children. Yeah, look, that's, sometimes you get, at the moment, thank God I've had great kids. They're really, really good children, well behaved, and they like coming there and all the rest of it. But in the past, I've had some real little, you'd love to, you're not allowed to touch them, but gee, you'd love to. Some children, seriously from broken homes and with anger issues and all sorts of things. For a while there, I really felt like I was being put to the test, but thankfully we got through that period and things have come good again. But yeah, it's challenging, but you learn as you go, Yes?
Junior Praesidium or Praesidia are defined up to the age of 18.
Yes.
Some of us have much older juniors. Does anybody in this group have experience of teenage junior Praesidia?
Oh, okay.
I'm looking for a correspondent for maybe a 15-year-old to correspond with a 15-year-old in Fiji. Because my experience of Fiji is that as soon as they leave school, they drop out of the Legion. They don't reappear in the parish presidia at all.
Yeah.
So it's like something they discard with their childhood. So we actually have a Praesidium which has got all teenagers, not primary school.
Oh, look, that's wonderful if you can do that.
But is there anybody here who has a Praesidium with older?
Not here today, I don't
They're
think,
only
but
primary.
we do have them, but not here, not in my own. Mine only really go up to
Well,
Grade
actually,
6,
worldwide, you'll find that the junior legionaries are usually 16 to 18. And from 18, sometimes, in your situation, they call them intermediate, but it's not official. In Asia particularly, the legionaries, junior legionaries, don't start until they're 16 in Catholic colleges. And having worked with them and up there, it really is a pleasure. They really want to do everything that the seniors, and then the juniors then are put into their senior presidia in their parishes. But each area has a different, in Australia it's difficult to get teenagers involved in the Legion.
That's right. Thank you. Lilia?
Okay, Sister Leanne.
Well, I was a junior legionary. I was 12 when the parish priest asked me to join Legion of Mary in Lebanon. And I was there for about 3 years before I moved to Beirut, and I couldn't really join anymore. But every time I go back to my town, hometown, Shari, I will go to a meeting anyway. So, but later on when I came here, I didn't know if there is Legion of Mary here at the time, and it took me a long time when I found out about Legion, I joined straight away. But do not lose hope in a way if they move out, because even whatever you instill in the Legion, the youth at the time, they keep it with them. Like whenever, like you carry Mary with you, regardless if you are in Legion or not, but you'll come back later. It's not a problem. So if they drop out, Mary will get them back, because whatever they did that worked for Mary will always help them to come back. So don't lose hope, and I think doesn't matter. It's just Mary will guide them through the way. That's what you hope for.
That's right,
Yeah. Yeah, doesn't matter, because they go through the life of where at the age of 18 they might stop going to church or whatever they do, but however, whatever they learn when they are young, they will keep it. And somehow during their life they will come back to them and they'll continue. So I don't think any legionary who was young, they actually left altogether. They're always involved in different work. I know so many of them in St. Vincent de Paul or other activities are still in the church, but different way.
That's a very good point, yes. And I know just from my own experience, they're the ones that I know anyway, they've certainly kept their faith, and they're involved in youth groups. You know, one of them's religious, but they're all good Catholics. You know, they've kept the faith. I ran into one into Office Works just by coincidence. I thought, I know this girl, and she served me. And I said, oh, you're Paula, used to be in the Legion of Mary. And she said, yeah, that's right. And I said, how's your faith? You're still practising your faith? She said, oh, yes, she says she is. Yeah. Which is lovely, you know, so something sticks with them, you know, it really does, yeah. But as far as getting them into the senior Legion, that's difficult in my situation anyway. I can only take them up to grade 6, because then when they start high school, it's just a logistics problem. They'd come, I just can't get them to the meeting in time. I have it at one stage. I had 2 meetings, one going during the week and then one on a Saturday, plus the senior. But it's a lot for one person to do. You need a bit of help too. Anyway, we do what we can, you know. We do what we can, as Liliane says, and leave the rest to Our Lady. But that grounding that they get in the faith, it stays with them. It really does. Yeah. You've got a great opportunity there, at least, to evangelise with these children who they're like sponges. They soak up everything you tell them, and it does stick. Okay. Well, I think I've gone over time, have I? Yes, sorry. Sorry, Joan. I'm waiting for the wind up. Yeah, okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.